everybody! Super dramatic opening, but it's Jennifer back with the homies. Today we're going to be talking about our newest project, RentieACar. This video is going to consist of 3 parts narrated by the 3 homies. So I just wanted to start off by giving you an overview of the project and the process behind it. RentieACar is a service in which users can hop on, prepay for parking, and choose a car to rent with the help of our agent who we call Bottom Right Modal. We'll be going into details a little later in the video, but with our agent, Bottom Right Modal, we have made the site following our core principles of simplicity and speed, so everything is very guided in a linear fashion with our agent assisting you every step of the way. Our biggest challenge was figuring out how to make this site guided and very easy to use. We went through countless meetings and spent over 150 hours on this project, including multiple drafts of the design and how we want the functionality to be laid out. In the end, we concluded that having a persistent modal that won't go away until you've completed the proper task is the way to go for guided assistance. We also decided to go for a lighter color palette than in our past projects in order for the modal to pop out more to the user. You'll see the real product momentarily, but the clips that I've been showing are real recordings of meetings we've had about the site. But I think I've built up the suspense and held you long enough. So now I'll pass you on to Kevin, who will show you around the site.
Hey guys, it's Kevin and I'm with the homies. So this time our product is RentieACar. Now what is RentieACar? RentieACar allows users to reserve a parking spot and a car for whatever time they would like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you guys through the project. So what we have so far is we're on the home page. And on the home page we have our link to our YouTube, which is hidden under the YouTube icon, just to make it look a little nicer. And we have the name of our site here. We have a shopping cart, which we will talk about in detail a little bit later. But what it does is it will save the choices that the user has made while they fill out the forms on our site via session, and it will display it. It will even show the user there that is currently logged in. For example, right now I am logged in as AWS. So we also have a login page and a sign up page, and below that we have an about us, which you can click to learn more about us. Let's do that. So this is our About Us page. You can learn a little bit more about each of us. You heard a little bit from Jennifer earlier as she described the introduction to our project, and you will hear from Steve a little bit later after I explain a couple of our pages. But right now, you guys are listening to me talk. That's Kevin. So I'm going to go back to the home page. I don't know if you guys noticed, but here's the little footer that you've seen in all of our other products. That's so you know it's made from love by the homies. Okay, now let's try to go to the login page. Now what happens when we click on the login page and we try to sign up with an account that is not made? Well, the way that our website works is that we store all users in a MySQL database. So if you are not in the database, you should get an error. Now let's try that. Look, it gives you an error. So we're going to go ahead and move to the sign up page to see what happens when we make an account. So right now we're on the sign up page, I'm sorry. And we're going to test out a couple things. We're going to see what happens when we try to sign up with an account that is already in the database. For example, the one I'm currently logged into. And we're going to try it out. You'll get an error letting you know that this user is already in our database. This is to show that this isn't hard-coded variables in, but actually linked to a working database. Now let's try and make a new account and see what happens. We're going to put OP for our user, and for our password, we're going to put OP as well, in case you guys want to try it out yourselves. Now we're going to click sign up, and look, it works. So it shows you that it works, and we're going to have to go back to the login page to properly log in. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we're back at the login page, and now we're going to log in with the credentials that we made earlier, which is OP, and password is OP. Now let's click that sign in button. As you can see, it worked. We're not getting the error that we got before, and it took us to the next page, which is to reserve a parking spot. Here we have a map of what our theoretical parking space would look like, and below we have options for you to select from. As you can see right here, this is our little helper, or as Jennifer so affectionately referred to him as, our little agent. He's basically going to be telling us what to do in case you guys need help. He's a trooper. He'll stick around with you to make sure you're doing everything properly. So for example, if I click anywhere on the page except for the options that I'm supposed to do, you can see that the little helper sticks around. Now let's see what happens when I click an option. Look at that, he disappears. It's to let you know that you're doing everything properly, and now you can click the car button to move on to the next step, which is reserving a car. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh look, our little helper's back. Again, he's here to make sure everything is running smoothly and you know what you're doing. So, what does he say? He's saying to choose a car to park. Well, look at the cars that we have ready for you guys. We have a sedan, we have a SUV, and well, for the pricier people, we have affectionately named it Not Our Budget, because we personally cannot afford these type of cars. So you may be wondering if these values themselves are hard-coded in for availability. The answer is actually no. As you will see later, if you will retry the form, the availability spots are actually saved to our MySQL database and will be subtracted from each time a car is reserved. So this number used to be 8, but if you so choose yourself a different option, you'll see that this number will be subtracted from. So let's go ahead and reserve the fancy car for our viewers. And then we're going to go on and move to pavement, and I'm going to pass it over to Steven so he can explain the rest of it. But before that, I want to pull up a little bit of code that shows the footer that we've added to each of our pages, and to show you the CSS and how our little helper was set up. This is the code that we used, and it's simple, but it works for us. Alright, well, I'm going to pass it over to Steven.
Hey guys, I'm Steven, and from here on I'll be taking the slides. From the customer information section, you have these pages where first name and last name, addresses, city, state, zip code, where you can fill your personal information in. Also for the payment, there's the place where you can put cardholder names, number, CVV, expiration date, and at the end there's cart. For the graphic designs, we made so that some of the boxes are bigger, so that you can the important information you know it's bigger, and some city, state, zip code stuff like that. I made it so that the small boxes are there, because most other companies use a small box for those information too, because you only need to put 5 digits or so. Okay, using PHP, what happens is that whenever somebody puts information into this stuff, like their personal information and card information, what happens is that we store that using the session. And for the cardholder, credit card number, what happens is that we implemented a simple JavaScript to make sure that it reads the first few digits in order to know which card it is and show what card it is. And then later on, we are going to pass this order information to your session to use on the next page. And on the cart, all the information that was passed on from the parking lot section and the car section is saved onto here, and the total is added using PHP, so it shows a total right there. Also on the bottom you can see our navigation in case people doesn't know what they're doing or where they're going. Oh, hold on, let me fill out all the checkpoint. Okay, Steven, address 1. Well, you know where I live now. Here, city, before state, Georgia. Sorry, I'm putting all the information in. Okay, and you check it out. Oh, see, one of the things that I didn't go over is that if you didn't fill any of the information in except the optional part, it tells you that you have to fill the information. Good thing I made a mistakes to show you what it is. Okay, in the invoice, what happens is that all the information that was passed from before through sessions and SQL server is listed on here, which is my personal information, which where I live, and my credit card ending with the number that it ends with, and also all the items I bought with the total amount that's in there. Also, if you look at we forgot to explain it before, but if you look at the cards, it shows all the things you bought too, and your username. On the bottom, it shows all the navigation bar. Basically, tells you for thank you for using us, and you can go back to our homepage by clicking on the RentieACar, or also you can check out our other projects 1 and project 2 by clicking on the Rentie Home or Jeopardy. Both links works fine. Right. Thank you.